Now, 3 people, including a 12-year-old, died in a shack fire in Joe Slovo informal settlement in Langa. Residents say the incident took place during power outages in the early hours of Sunday morning. 14 homes were completely destroyed, and some residents say all they're left with now is the clothes that they are wearing. eNCA reporter Nobesuthu Hejana joins me now with the very latest on this tragic news. And Nobesuthu, a very warm good morning to you, colleague. I mean, what can you tell us behind the cause of this fire and exactly what you see that's left behind?
Well, Tumelo, the cause of the fire at this stage is still unclear, as the matter has now been passed on to the South African Police Services for investigations. But just behind me, you will see some residents who are still trying to salvage what they can and try to rebuild their homes. We do know that a total of 14 homes was completely destroyed following a fire that took place at around about 10 to 11 on Saturday evening, and we hear from the Western Cape, or rather Cape Town Fire Rescue Team, saying that they managed to extinguish the fire around or in the early hours of Sunday morning. And I'm hearing from residents in the area that this isn't the first time that a fire has broke out in this area. In fact, the first time another person had died, and we know that 3 people have died, including a 12-year-old child. But I'm joined by a resident, Mr. Lungelo Fetman, just to tell us about, the impact. Tata siyabona apha kuchile and abahlali balahlekelwe zizindlu zabo kwakunye nempahla kunye nezinye izixhobo zabo.
Apha batshelwa abantu, akho abantu abangakhuphanga nenye into. Impahla zesikolo zabantwana, yonke into. Akho mntu unanto apha, siphelele kwento sikuzo. Asinalo indawo yohlala, akho kwamntu sizamele indawo uba singakhe sihlale kuyo sifihle inhloko kuneholo khange siluhoyo ngabahlali ba ikomiti zethu apha.
Well, Tumelo, he's saying that, residents here lost everything and they could not even take anything out. They are left with what they have literally on their bodies, and they could not even go to a local community hall because it was not made available to them. Tatamu busitsho ba kule ndawo kuqala ukutsha kwaye kusweleke umuntu.
Apha uqala ukutsha apha ngokwesithathu ngoku. Kwakutshile kuqala apha kwasweleka umuntu. Kwatsho kwesibini kwasweleka umuntu nomntana wakhe, zange sifumane uncedo. Ngoku batshile bathathwa abantu apha nomntana lowesithathu. Khange sifumane kwauncedo oko besime apha emvuleni ukunetha phana. Khange sifumane uncedo, sifumananga materials, sifumananga nendawo yofihla inhloko, sizikhangele ezihlobeni, abanye abanazihlobo, kunzima ngoku. Silala ezindlini kwizindlu esilala kuzo, sincama abantu bangenendawo sixinane nabo apha. Abanye abantwana banayo kwa uniform ngoku.
Well, he's saying that, this is the 3rd time that a fire has broke out in this area, and it's the 2nd time that people have lost their lives. Other people managed to seek shelter from nearby residents, and also school children lost everything. Tatam sekule xesha elingakanani mhlambi nilindile kwi list ye City of Cape Town emveni kokubhalisa kwezindlu? Usakhumbula?
Ubhalisa kwezindlu ndisakhumbula bekuzavota ngobe kuzavotwa. Like beza kakanye zabaphinde beza. Bekumpunyakana bengo 2016 because thina siqale uhlala apha ngo-2007 ngoJune. Nangoku sisemanzini kukho abantu njengoba sitshelwe nje kukho abantu abalapha eBhek basehlele emanzini kunjengale ndawo sime kuyo apha, izindlu zabo zinje ngale ndawo sime kuyo. Kaze asifumane kuhona kusithi akanaxesha lethu ngako.
Right, siyabulela kakhulu tatam. Well, Tumelo is also saying that, they moved in here back in 2006, and he remembers, I think it was around 2006, when politicians came to campaign in the area, and they told them that they were going to assist them with the housing, but till this date, they are still in this area, and the situation has worsened. And if you can see just next to him, he was also mentioning that, when it rains in this particular area, it's flooded. And the last time they saw city officials, they promised to assist them in this regard. And a lot of people have lost their possessions, their furniture, including those 3 people that have died. We do understand that the people were renting in one of these shacks and they are not South Africans, so it's hard to find any relatives, and they are now awaiting for assistance from City of Cape Town officials with anything that they can provide, shelters to rebuild, and also food if possible, because one lady was also mentioning that they have not been able to eat because they've lost groceries and everything that they owned.
Yeah, and Nobesuthu, as I look behind you and just look at the types of shacks and how they're placed, you can see they're very close to each other. So if one shack was to catch fire, definitely that has the potential of impacting the next one. Just before I let you go, how congested is it in terms of, the shacks and how they're placed right in the informal settlement?
Certainly, Tumelo. In fact, earlier when I was speaking to other residents, they were mentioning that usually when there is fire in this particular area, they are able to extinguish one house or one shack if they are able to see the fire quickly. But what happened on Saturday evening, they're still not sure what actually caused the fire, but you can see that the houses are very close to each other, and most of them are double-story houses to make way or to ensure that because of the space that is congested, whoever is renting out these shacks, they are able to make enough money and have more people staying in these structures. But they are seeking assistance and are hoping that such incidents will be avoided should the City of Cape Town assist them with houses.
Yeah, and I suppose it's a waiting game now to hear from the City of Cape Town in terms of how they plan to respond to Nobesuthu Hejana. But thanks, colleague, for bringing this, story to the fore, to our attention. 3 people, we understand, have died, including a 12-year-old child in that blaze. At this point, it hasn't been ascertained as to what exactly caused that fire, but you could see the extent of the damage there, that everything has been destroyed, from clothes all the way to furniture, with those affected saying they're now left only with the clothes that they are wearing on their backs, and appealing, of course, to the city for some assistance. And with that story, Nobesuthu Hejana.